Hey there, welcome back to the Rusty Dusty Picker channel. This is the place where we make things out of abandoned, inexpensive garage sale finds, thrift store finds, just interesting things that we reimagine into or restore to working condition. This little video is going to be nothing different in that regard. This is an old it's made for households as well sometimes, but this is what you would see on a golf course before entering the clubhouse. It cleans off the spikes of the shoes as you go in. And it's not in the best condition, so I'm going to have to give it a lot of TLC. And you know, we're missing quite a few screws on the back. It's loose as a goose back here. And we've got this random nail, which I don't know what the purpose of this nail was for. But anyway, let's get to work. Okay, so what I'm noticing right away is that there's supposed to be a third there's supposed to be a third essentially brush bar across the back here, and that is missing. So as you can see here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reposition these two, and I'm going to bring them in this direction so that it's still a functional piece and can actually clean shoes. The last one is really just for the very edge of the toe. You can barely get your foot in there. So figured I'd share that, and let me do that now. Okay, so I figured I'd show you. I've taken the two bottom brushes off. I'm going to move them into a position here, but first I'm going to need to clean up this whole unit is filthy. I'm also going to have to replace the original hardware. It just doesn't have quite the bite that we would need to put this back together efficiently, unfortunately. But and I'll remove some of this, I guess, superfluous hardware down here too. Clean it up, maybe do a little light sanding, and then start to put it back together. Then start to consider painting it and how I might do that. Maybe a country club green with a design, or maybe just restore it and stain it and all that fun stuff. Anyway, we'll be right back. All right, I gave it a decent cleaning. One more screw to go in moving these scrubber brushes, bottom of the shoe cleaner deals. They're in pretty good condition. I prefer to use the original rusty screws, but that just wasn't going to work. So that's where we are as of now. So now we have a little bit more of a functional cleaner. So I'm going to do a little more cleaning on this. It's still very dusty. Still plenty of remnants on this thing. So I'm going to go clean up and then bring it back, and then move forward with the fun stuff. This is the uphill stuff, but we've got plenty of beautiful teak wood, or it's almost like a white oak to deal with here, which is fun. With the screws here, I'll probably, I'll cover them up with a darker stain or paint, just so it matches the rest of the piece. I don't want to leave it like that, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so in cleaning this, I decided to use a very fine sandpaper just to get the very outer layer of dust and dirt and grit off of this. So now on this side, I have an extremely smooth, lighter surface to work with. So I'm gonna do the other side. If you notice, this one is kind of the raw, unsanded, but this is basically just a little Ryobi that I'm going to be sanding with, and I'm going to do the same to this side. So let's do it. I'm going to do a little more, but you get the idea, and you can just see all of that dust and muck coming up. So let me finish it. So anyway, the second side now is sanded down very smooth. So far so good. We've got a sturdy piece. We've moved the brushing pads for the bottom of your shoes or spikes or whatever. And now is kind of the the moment of truth is what the heck to do with this. I could paint it like a really nice like I said, a country club green, so it would be, and then maybe some accents. But as I'm looking at this, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to stain it. I'm going to pick a nice stain, do a little detail work, and I also have some old school spikes, metal spikes, which you don't see seen even on tour, even by golfers now. And I think I'm going to stain this and then use those as just some simple decor on it and call it a day. I don't want to overdo it. There's no reason to paint this. It's in really good shape for its age. And so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go pick out a stain now. I'm going to go see if I can find those old school spikes that I found in the bottom of a golf bag I bought recently with clubs. And we'll return and let's see what we can do with this thing. Okay, so what I went with is a Minwax Poly Shades American Chestnut Gloss stain for this piece. So I've done a first coat on much of it, as you'll see here. So that's the color we're working with. Pretty stately, pretty cool. While that's drying, I'm going to be doing some touch-up work. As you can see down in here, I think it would be worthwhile just to make sure the stain gets in between the bristles. And yeah, for that I'm just going to use this smaller brush, and I'm going to get to work on that and let this dry, and then I'm going to do the bottom. So essentially, there's a good view of what I need to get into. So I'm just going to use this brush one-handed here and just kind of get in between the brush, what did I say, bristles here, and just make it look complete. All right, so we'll come back and revisit this and see what progress we can make. All right, so moving right along, now we have the underside now with a fresh coat of stain. I really like the color. I like the darkness of it, and we're going to have the silver spikes will be decorating the sides of this. Haven't exactly figured out how I'm going to space those out, but it's going to look pretty cool. So getting excited to finish this thing up. So let's let it dry and come back. All right, next day. Yeah, totally dry all the way around. Looking pretty decent. I do like the color. It's nice and dark. Yeah, next move. Let me show you these golf spikes and what I'm thinking about doing to the sides of this. I'm thinking about taking, say, I don't know, 5 of them on each side, like this. And installing them something like this. So it'll look kind of cool. So that's what I think that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill small holes. These actually are made to screw into pre-threaded spike holes on the bottom of a golf shoe. But I think I'm going to drill very small, shallow holes, and I'll also use a little bit of glue, and I'll twist them in there with the old-fashioned spike tool, which fits onto it, and you can turn it in there. Or I could just put it in the hole with the glue, but one way or the other. Let me get to drilling some holes, and we'll show you what happens. All right, so I drilled the holes, and we're simply going to insert these spikes like so. They're just tight enough that I'm going to glue them in. Like I said, we'll do 5 on each side. These can also be used to further clean whatever boots or shoes you have. Maybe the side of them has something on them, besides just looking kind of cool. So there you go. I'll get those glued up, and I'll do the other side. and then we'll probably wrap this up pretty soon. That's all it takes. Just eyeballing it from what I did on the other side. So that's the second side of the hole. So now actually I will I'll glue them and let it rest a bit. Okay, so there we have it. We're all set. All of the spikes have been attached. We've got a clear coat on the entire piece. I did add a couple of spikes to the top here. Not necessarily functional, but if we're going to put those there, maybe they would be functional. So that's our piece. Little shoe, golf shoe cleaner, entryway cleaner. Anyway, we're going to leave it here. Thanks so much for coming to the Rusty Dusty Picker channel. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell icon there so you'll get reminded when you're on YouTube. You'll see the new videos we make. And once again, take care. Thanks. Bye.